Alright, what's up guys? My name is Suicide Guy and I have to be a little quiet, but I have today with me a Coke and a special guest that is my boyfriend, of course. And of course I drink my Coke.
Hi.
Scared the shit out of me. Of course, I drink my Coke in a whiskey glass because I want to remember the feelings of whiskey. So, here we go. I'm going to rank Nile albums because I believe it is my duty to do so. So, this is obviously just a watermark upper end, and depending on how fucking well this goes, I can do it like this. And okay, let's rank this shit. So, I'm gonna start with the first album, which is obviously Amongst the Catacombs, which this album is just raw. It's just the album production is not existent. I don't even think they mixed this album, to be honest. But it's definitely one of a good album nonetheless. But I don't really remember that many songs of this that was like, oh yeah, this is like special. So it's an A tier starting out, and then you will notice next up I actually have in the beginning, or in the beginning, the re-recordings of older songs, which are pretty much just B tier. It's like good, but it's not B tier. It's definitely A tier. It's like a little meh, because it's re-recordings of old songs and it's good and all, but it's not necessarily that. It's not groundbreaking. But at the same year, they made their second album, which is The Black Seeds, and that's the first S tier because this album is also the first one, I believe, where they start going fast. So that's obviously a criteria for being the best album, but it's not the best album. However, it's up there. I mean, my favorite songs are like The Black Flame, Masturbating the War God, Multiple of Foes, Chapter for Transforming in Something, because I can't see the entire title, and my favorite song on the album, like absolute favorite song, is To Dream of Your, or To Dream of probably. It's a 9-minute song, and it's pretty good. So that leaves it in the S tier for that album. And then we have In Their Darkened Shrines. And now, for this one, my favorite songs I will start with. It's Una's Slayer of the Gods, Churning the Maelstrom, and Destruction of the Temple. And all these songs are really cool, but it didn't get more than like 3 favorite songs. So it is an S tier album because it's post Catacombs, so it's better than anything else they released. But it's a great album. It's just the songs aren't necessarily my focus on this one. So next up, we will have the obvious foot in the room, which is Annihilation of the Wicked. Now, my favorite songs of this, believe it or not, there's like 2 songs I've hearted, and I should have re-listened to the album, but I mean, I listened to this album quite a bit, and my favorite songs are User Madre and Lash to the Slave Stick, obviously, because it's an iconic song. I heard Lash to the Slave Stick in 2017, actually, and User Madre is actually like my favorite song of that album. As far as the album goes, it's an S tier. I don't have many favorite songs because it's not necessarily one of their faster albums. However, that will change now because now we're getting into the faster stuff. For example, now it's Iphiphallic or Ithyphallic, however the fuck you pronounce that shit. I don't fucking know. This album is a great album. However, I was literally sleeping for most of this album because I was really fucking tired. I had grinded the entire day listening to albums, so I didn't really heart that many songs. I do remember liking these songs more than In Their Darkened Shrines. However, the favorite songs I actually did mark is What Can Be Safely Written, which is the first song, 8 minutes, and then Even the Gods Must Die, which is 10 minutes. And I know everything in between is pretty good, so I will put it in S tier, and because it's better than both of these albums, I will do this. This is the best album so far that we have. Actually, I don't think it's better than Black Seeds when I think of it, because the Black Seeds has more songs that I put in my top. But then again, I also like Iphiphallic more because it's faster. So I guess it's there. But then, I should have recorded this tomorrow at like 7 p.m. with my boyfriend instead. But I decided to do it tonight, so I don't have to worry about it. And I will just make it to upload at like 5 a.m. And next up is Those Whom the Gods Detest. And if this was during 7 p.m., I would scream the lyric Kafir. Because the fucking opening song of Those Whom Gods Detest is probably my favorite Nile song of all fucking Nile. Of all time. And it's maybe even one of my favorite death metal songs of all time. Yeah, definitely. I love the Kafir, the 260 part, and then the slower part that's groovy. And it's just like, there is no God but God. And it's, and you know, double kicks, and then but George does some fucking odd, like more like Egyptian beat in there, and just it fucking works, which is my first favorite song. And then we have Hittite Dung Incantation, whatever the fuck that means, also one of my favorite songs. And then the title track, Those Whom the Gods Detest, one of my favorite songs, For Aura of Dagon, not a dragon, permitting the noble dead, and Kem Kefa Keshlef, no, Keshef, not Keshlef, that's an easy mistake. It's not a favorite. And honestly, my second favorite on this album, The Eye of Ra, then the intro, the 24 second intro, is literally just George Calais doing this. He's literally just doing drum fills for the entire fucking intro at 260 BPM, and it's just so awesome. So this album is an hard S tier, and it is indeed my favorite Nile album, and I'll drink to that. And then next we have Worship the Animal, which is actually a release of their demo songs. And on this demo album, or EP, since it's kind of short, it's only 5 songs. Not sure what makes an EP an album, because this is listed as an album, but has the amount of songs of an EP. I don't know. Probably something with the length and how it's precaution and recorded. EPs are generally shorter songs, not really over like 5 minutes. But then again, oh, never mind. Every song is like 8 or 7 minutes. On this one, the only one I didn't like was the first song. The first song, I mean, it's not I didn't like, but it's not my favorite. But every other fucking worshipped animal, Nepenthe, surrounded by fright, and Mecha are all fucking awesome. And this album is actually awesome because of a simple detail. It's literally okay. So imagine this: take Phil Anselmo and put him on vocals in Nile, and there you have the album. It's literally just like Pantera vocals with like Nile instrumentals. So because of that, it's an S tier, and it falls in between Black Seeds and Iphicalic in terms of being awesome. Because it's literally 4 out of 5. It's literally the best scoring album so far in terms of favorites. Um, However, next we have an unfortunate album for Nile fans, and this is probably where I get 1,000 dislikes, and everyone will unsubscribe from my channel, because believe it or not, I actually really like At the Gate of Sefu. It's such a cool album. I mean, you have Enduring the Eternal Molestation, the inevitable degradation, when my wrath is done, the gods light up something, the natural liberation of fear, tribunal of the dead, supreme humanism, the chaining of the iniquitous, and it's just pretty much. There's only 1, 2, 3 songs that I didn't like put as my favorite. 2 of those are instrumentals. One of those are this song. Only one I didn't like. That one sounds a little stupid, and because of that, I think it's fair I put it above Black Seeds. And I know Black Seeds, it's a very important album because that's like pretty much the last album. Wait, let me check if I'm right. Oh wait, never mind. It's not the last album, but it's like the first really good album by them. And I understand if this triggers some people, but yes, I do think At the Gates of Sefu is just such a cool album. Honestly, I'm gonna put it above Worship the Animal even, because I mean I like it more. Simple as that. Now we have the two I listened to today, so I will know what to say here. What should not be unearthed should actually be renamed to This Album Is Too Good to Be Unearthed, because it's literally a tie between this album and those who the gods detest, because this album is just they reel you back in from Sefu to like one of the best albums they could ever fucking pull off. The only thing I didn't put as my favorite on this one is the 1 minute instrumental, Call to Destruction, negating the abominable, Liber Stelle Rebie, in the name of Amun, what should not be unearthed, evil to cast out evil, age of famine, rape of the black earth, to walk from flames. All these songs are just cool as shit, and therefore it's an S tier, but it's not as good as those whom gods detest, but it's up there. I wish it had more high BPM songs, honestly. And that brings me to Vile, Nilotic Rights. And in this one, I will actually have to negotiate a little bit why I'm going to put this in the rating I am putting it in. Because if I tell you there was only one actual song I didn't put in my favorites, like of this album, or well, Hearted doesn't mean it's always my favorite song, but because I have the Long Shadows of Dread, Oxford had, but kind of bad, honestly. Vile Neotric writes, Seven Horns of War was a really good song. That Which Is Forbidden, I think, was a good song. Revel in Their Suffering was one of the actual best songs. Uh, Where's the Wrathful Skies? And that's also like that's like two actually good. So Seven Horns of Revelance, They're Suffering, where in the rap, where is the Wrathful Sky? Is actually the like free genuine favorites. Then there's like ones that are like, okay, these are favorites on this album. Outside, it's like whatever. Like the Imperishable Stars, it's an 8-minute song, usually good, but this one is just it's my favorite on the album. But you know, and We Are Cursed, I guess I could say that's a genuine favorite, but I don't know. If I made a playlist, I would probably not include any of Vile Melodic Rights because this album, although the songs are great, like the riffs are great, like that's what I try to focus on. I try to ignore the production and give the songs a fair chance. Just listen to the riffs. Like, would this riff sound cool if this had a different tone, for example? Because if they played their songs live, they're gonna have a better tone. So, and that's what's important. And like the riff is also more important because if the riff is good, that kind of saves the song. I hate the production on this album. The guitar solos are too cut, and what I mean by that is, after each note, they have cut every little like a bit after the note, so it sounds choppy, almost like Rings of Saturn or Buried Alive. And the thing is, I like it. I like that kind of guitar shredding when Buried Alive and Rings of Saturn does it. When Nile does it, it doesn't fit because Nile, I know as the band who does fast chromatic shreds that are just completely raw and big bands and raw melody. This one's a little too overproduced for my taste. So that's why this one's actually going in like a B tier. Because I do not really like the way it sounds because it's too overproduced for this album. But on that note, I think I got my point across pretty well. My favorite albums, those whom God detests, what shall not be unearthed and Ififalic. It's my top three. And the obviously big surprise top four being Sefu. But hey, I'm going to save this and share it on forums and prepare to be publicly shamed for actually liking an album that they don't like because they always get mad when you have a different opinion from them, the middle elitists. So, but I've been Suicide Grind, and you've been watching me rate all the Nile albums, which I didn't even think I would pull off. And you know the motto: stay cute.